appreciate the viewers for always keeping in touch with us on this platform. Michael still remains my name, and I'm the anchor taking you on today's edition of this program. Of course, it's been a tragedy in Ibadan. It happened over the weekend, and we have hundreds of Hausas living Ibadan, relocating to the northern part of the country. All right, let's move down to today's business. Still on the state of the nation. Daily Trust, The Nation, and Vanguard newspaper on these stories. Let's pick them one after the other. We have The Nation on the crisis that happened in Ibadan, that's Oyo State. Not governors in Ibadan overgrowing ethnic tension. Not governors in Ibadan overgrowing ethnic tension. Bagudu, Sonibelu, Ganduje, Matawale meet stakeholders. The Inspector General Police deploys special squad in Oyo State. IJ deploys special squad in Oyo State. And quickly to the top of the paper, we have Okonjo Iweala. I will take WTO, that's the World Trade Organization, to greater heights. She's now the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Before we go to another journal, we have a story here. Bandits now attack soldiers, says El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State. Bandits now attack soldiers, says El-Rufai, and we can see the picture of El-Rufai right on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Quickly to Daily Trust newspaper. What is Daily Trust saying? Very, very vital one here. Still on the crisis, Shasha crisis. Northerners living in Ibadan in droves. Northerners living Ibadan in droves. No support from government will contribute to feed victims, says leader Bagudu Ganduje Bello Matawale. Meet Makinde. IGP deploys 4 riot police squadrons, and we have on top of the paper federal government raising alarm over Ebola resurgence. Many herdsmen being prosecuted for alleged killings, says our presidency. Governors and loyalists kick as lie once Kwara APC registration cancelled. And down the paper, we have some pictures on the front page of this. We have, that's yesterday, we have officials of Yoruba and Hausa communities during a peace meeting in Ibadan yesterday. Federal government recruits 30,000 and 60 community security officers. Let's move down to the Vanguard newspaper. Very, very crucial one here. NEF, PANDEF, MBF, Afenifere, ACF to government, to federal government, produce evidence of criminal herdsmen's trial where they are being tried. ACF asked, where are they being tried? ACF, that's the area of Consultative Forum, asked, we are unaware of our members being prosecuted. We are unaware of our members being prosecuted, says Mieti Allah. Quickly to another story here. Occupy Lekki Tollgate. Sanwo-Olu is speaking here. Sanwo-Olu orders investigation into alleged assault on protesters. The governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, orders investigation into alleged assault on protesters. Let's quickly join our reviewers here. Of course, you know they are always ready to speak. We have one of our reviewers here. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Can you come closer to the microphone a little bit? Thank you so much. You're welcome, sir. How are you doing?
Fine.
Yeah. Still on the crisis between Hausa and Yoruba that took place in Ibadan. We have hundreds of northerners relocating to their own region based on the crisis that happened over the weekend. Your take on it, should we see this continue to happen in Nigeria, where we have ethnic diversity, where we can't live in peace with each other?
It's not what I wanted to say now. Before I can say anything, I have to pray, because without God, nothing can be settled. It's God that has created us with His own image. It is God that can bring peace. Human being cannot bring peace. Me and you cannot make peace except God step in. Before anything happening to the world, I lifted up my hand to pray for Ibadan, for Oyo State. I pray for Nigeria as I pray for myself, as I pray for my family, as I pray for my children, as I pray for my wife, as I pray for other people. I pray that whatever is happening to Nigeria, God will take a step of peace to reign in this nation Nigeria in the name of Jesus. So what the step that the Hausa have been taking to Ibadan, if it is a step of peace, is this is a step of settlement, that is right, because God is the God of peace. Even when something happens for individual life, we will be calling God, help me, please God help me, please God help me. We are not going to call any man except God, because we bear the name, the children of God. I say the northerner cannot bring trouble to the Oyo State. Any other part of the nation cannot bring the trouble to the other people except peace. Except peace. If they bring problem, if they bring trouble, it's wrong. It's wrong, because many people looking for peace for our nation Nigeria. Many people are looking for peace, not trouble. Many people are having children. Many people are having wife. Many people are having brother and sister. We are looking for that peace. Let that peace reign in our nation Nigeria as a one nation. That is what I can say.
All right, thank you so much.
Is there anything?
All right, let's quickly talk about northerners living in Ibadan. So, the northern region, of course, it was a big tragedy in that place. A lot of destruction were made there. Massive destruction in Ibadan, that's Sasha market. I think both Hausas and Yorubas are occupiers of that said market. But to be sincere with you, it was a great, huge menace in that place. Now, the governors of the northern region, we have Matawale, we have Ganduje, Bagudu, and others, have visited the place, that's Oyo State, and today they will be inspecting the areas affected. What should the northern governors do to their own citizens? Of course, I think this issue happened between a Yoruba and Hausa, right? Now, what should they do to sensitize their own people? And what should the government of Oyo State do to make sure peace is being restored to that area or Oyo in generality?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mike. I think what should be done is this. One, it's unfortunate that we saw that level of wanton destruction of life and property. But again, I think the government authorities should rise up to the occasion and do the needful. They should ensure that every person that have committed one crime or the other is adequately and appropriately prosecuted. They should ensure that, because if you look at it, and my advice is, there are people who may be grieved, who may be aggrieved, who may have lost loved ones. My advice to them is that they should eschew that bitterness and allow the government to do the needful. And again, the government should ensure, because by the time perpetrators of crime are not being arrested and prosecuted, there is every tendency that there will be a reprisal attack. So that is why it is very important that the authorities ensure that they move in and apprehend whoever may have burned down houses, whoever may have killed one person of the Oyo State. to meet with the governor, I think is a welcome development. It will to a great extent rekindle the confidence of the northerners who have been living in that shasha for a very long time, that their security or their well-being is not being threatened. Because if you look at what happened in that shasha, it's quite different from the general insecurity we have been witnessing. So it's an isolated case. But again, that brings us to the irresponsible nature of our government. Because if they were proactive, they would have been able to nip that crisis in the bud. And we're going to ask, a situation where we spend millions of naira servicing our DSS, our police, the army, the navy, all the various security agencies, and you see this type of crisis where they are not able to nip it in the bud, we're going to ask that question: where does that DSS rest? Where is their responsibility? Because we know that it's under their purview to gather information. They mingle with the society. So if they were not there while this crisis was being nurtured to the point where it exploded, then I think somebody needs to ask that question. Then going forward, let there be a process in place that will ensure that all the people inhabiting in each and every society, there is a process that makes the government know when there is a brewing crisis. Because once a life is lost, you cannot bring that life back. A human who do not have the capacity to create life or to call a person back to life. So on that basis, we should do everything humanly possible to ensure that life is being protected.
The presidency has said that many of the incidents are being prosecuted for alleged killings, and we have other groups countering what the presidency has said. Said here is the evidence that the federal government is prosecuting the killer herdsmen.
Mr. Mike, I strongly disagree with Mr. President.
Okay.
I think that statement came from one of the Mr. President's spokesperson. Okay. But I strongly disagree with Mr. President, because we have seen so many instances where herdsmen is alleged to have committed crime as association, where their leaders will be making some categorical statements that makes them look culpable, now not being cautioned or being arrested by the authorities. Mr. Mike, recently, the spokesperson of Nigeria Immigration Service said that Fulani herdsmen do not bear arm in Nigeria. And this is contrary to every known fact. A situation where even Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, has even said that Fulani herdsmen bear arms for self-defense. I've even seen while Fulani herdsmen invaded the home of the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, even the commissioner of police in that state, or rather the spokesperson of police in that state, was saying that they never invaded the home of Professor Wole Soyinka. From what I can see, every government official, they are afraid of what will happen to them if they speak the truth about what Fulani herdsmen are doing. So the Mr. President is not telling us the truth. If actually these people are being prosecuted, they will not see this level of insecurity, this level of crisis that happens between the host communities and the herders. So from what I can see, there is that weak power to arrest and prosecute herders is not there, because the police, the DSS, the army, they are scared of what will happen to them. They are afraid of losing their position. Mr. Man, let me remind you, cast your mind back to what happened in Yewa North local government in Ogun State, where Fulani herdsmen had to go and bring military personnel to beat, to intimidate, to harm, to brutalize community indigenous of those areas who allegedly evicted them from their community because of their recalcitrant behavior and because of their criminal tendencies. So what could be now is the government deem it fit, since that news came to the front burner, to investigate and bring those military personnel to justice? I don't think so. So how can Mr. President be telling us that they have Fulani herdsmen who are being prosecuted. I challenge Mr. President to make good his promise. Let the police authority publish all the saying that for peace to reign, that the government need to provide land for ranching in all the 36 states, including FCT. How can you be compelling and issuing threats to government to provide land for ranching while you are doing your personal business? Do government provide land for every other individual who is doing his or her business in Nigeria? I'm not saying as a legitimate citizen, as a Nigerian citizen who want to do his cattle rearing, that you do not have right to, for instance, come to Lagos, come to Abuja, come to Delta, come to Akwa Ibom, go to any part of the country and get land for yourself and build your rent. I'm not saying they do not have that right. But you cannot be issuing threat to federal government or state governments that for peace to reign, that they need to provide land for ranches in all the 36 states, including Abuja. It's not acceptable.
Let's quickly go to the live chat. We have Eric Info saying that Mr. Matthew is always making sense. You're still the one talking here. You are talking sense, Mr. Matthew. Good morning, guys. Another person that's Taiwo Odunlade. Good morning, guys. We have Kelvin Osayomo or something like that. Mr. Mike Adekunle, good morning from London. Well done to you guys. Now, quickly to what Obagiga Biggest is saying here. Leadership without sense of responsibility and honesty leads to disaster. A case in point is Sheikh Makinde. He's supposed to be a PA to a local government chairman, but in Nigeria, the political office is for sale. That's the Nigeria political office is for sale. Now, when you look at what Biggest Obagiga has said, you see that even last week, Mendebo also made such statements. A situation whereby a governor doesn't have total control of a state, a situation whereby a governor cannot, create peace in a state. What does that signify?
Mr. Mike, thank you very much. I'm not in the habit of casting aspersion on people, even while I disagree with their approach. But I think it behoves on the governor, who is the chief secretary of the officer of the state, to protect life and property. But unfortunately, they are handicapped, going by the tenets of the constitution. But if you look at it the way it stands, the constitution do not give in that state. The constitution do not give the governor the authority to command the henchmen of the Nigerian army in that state. That notwithstanding, if there is harmonious relationship, there is an extent to which the security agencies will comply with the directive of the state government, especially if it's not in consonant with the ideology of federal government. Take for instance, if the governor is giving all the security head in the state directive to go on offensive against Fulani herdsmen who are in the bush, who are in the forest, it's unlikely that police, DSS, army will do it, except there is an express order from Abuja. So that there is a predicament on their own part. That brings us to the issue of state police and empowering Amateku and all the state security forces to bear arms. Because until we do that, all the state security arrangements will be impotent. Because you cannot go offensive against headers who bear AK-47 and with cutlass or with bare hand. It's not possible. They will crush you. If we must see efficiency in Amateku, Amateku must bear the category of arm and even above what the bandits are bearing, above what the headers are bearing, to be able to combat them, with including professional training. But the situation where the federal government is not forthcoming, federal government is unwilling to allow them to bear arms, and it's unfortunate. That is where we come to blame federal government. Because if federal government want to conclaim on this, the federal government have no excuse. They must allow Amateku to bear arms. That is the area I'm equally faulting federal government. Because at the time Akeredolu gave that order, it behoved on the commissioner of police in that state, the director general of DSS in that state, to order police personnel and DSS to go on offensive against those criminal elements in the state federal reserve. irrespective of the nomenclature they bear. I am not saying they are headers. It is only when they get to the bush and discover that people who are terrorizing and taking ransom from people are headers. Mr. Mike, the governor of our Ondo state was interviewed on channel the other day, and they asked him categorically, who are those people who are in the forest reserve? He said that they speak one common language known in Nigeria, but when they press him further, he said that they speak Fulani. What am I saying? This thing is a known fact. That's why I salute the courage of Akeredolu, because most governors, they are scared of what Buhari will do, of what Mr. President will do, of what the authority in Abuja will do. For that reason, they are afraid to handle and approach this insecurity head on. So what I'm encouraging Akeredolu going forward is to engage federal government constructively, objectively, for the need to allow Amateku to bear arms, because until they do that, their action cannot be potent.
Don't you have other
as human being, he may be scared of what happens if he violates extant laws. Because if you look at it, like I've said, the constitution do not give him that leverage to command the DSS, the police, the army. Their command and control is in Abuja. The commissioner of police takes order from Abuja. That notwithstanding, they should look for ways to empower Amateku, because until do that, headers do not submit until they see a superior force. So what I'm encouraging the Oyo State governor in the person of Makinde is to ensure that going forward they empower Amateku to take the lead of security in that state, because it has been proven that federal government is not willing to do it, because I don't know the level of complicity of Mr. President himself, but the body language of the lieutenants shows that they are afraid of him, perhaps because they have not gotten marching order from him. Because if Mr. President today says, urge your police, deploy 4 combat helicopters to Oyo for the purpose of combating criminality in their bushes, in their forests, IG will do it. But IG is unlikely to do it even if the governor is complaining. So you see that he's handicapped.
Now, do you support the Northerners leaving Oyo State to their own region?
If they are leaving because they want to go to another place to do their business, nobody have right to ask anybody not to go. But I am not saying they should leave on the basis of the crisis, because for what I can see, some governors from the north are already interfacing with governors in the west for purpose of resolving that crisis. Like I've said earlier on, the crisis we are seeing is not the same thing with the Fulani headers crisis with host communities. It's a different ballgame, and it's condemnable. It's unfortunate. We have said it that the federal government did not do the needful to nip it in the bud. But this is where we find ourselves. What we are looking at is how to de-escalate the crisis. Because until we do that, the society cannot be peaceful for all to cohabit.
And don't you think the Fulani crisis gave birth to this?
No, it didn't give birth to it. If you look at the genesis of what transpired, an Hausa boy who was littering the front of food to the woman, a nearby shoe cobbler, a Yoruba boy, came to caution him. He attacked him with charms. The boy fell right to the hospital. He was pronounced dead. That is the genesis of this crisis. So you see that it's quite different from the header and host community clashes. So that is why you address issues based on its merits, so that we don't change the narrative, so that we don't create a different narrative, so that we don't send out wrong messages. What I'm saying is that let this one be handled within the ambit of the circumstance that created it, and let it be resolved within that same ambit and circumstance. Let us not mix it up with other issues.
Now, away from that, let's quickly run to Lekki Tollgate, Occupy Lekki Tollgate. You can see someone ordering investigation into alleged assault on protesters. But the questions Nigerians are asking is, is Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, not playing prank with Lagosians or protesters?
Mr. Mike, thank you very much for that question. I think I saw the dehumanization of the protesters, how they were stripped, tied hand to their back. Their hands were tied to their back. In this 21st century, is unfortunate.
And don't you think the governor was in support of it?
Mr. Mike, I may not tell you that the governor is in support of it because I recently listened to the Attorney General of Lagos State on channel television while he was being asked about the humanization of those protesters. He said that even as Lagos State government have advised people not to protest, the Lagos State government in that statement recognized the right of citizens to protest, and that it is the duty of police to do arrests, and the government will prosecute. On that, he even said that in Nigeria that it's almost a custom that if you are arrested on Saturday, that you may not have bail, you may not receive your bail until Monday, which is the next working day. But he said they have to move a mobile court to where they had those protesters detained to ensure that they were arraigned and bail granted. And as at the time he was speaking, they were all released. Then again, I think it's not out of place for the governor of Lagos State to ensure that they investigate and bring those police personnel who dehumanize those protesters to book. That the police personnel threatened them that if we were to be in the night, they would have killed them. So you see that the police have not learned anything. So that's why I'm encouraging the state government to ensure that they investigate and bring those police personnel to justice. I'm even using this opportunity to charge the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State to identify those police personnel who were unprofessional in their conduct, who dehumanize Nigerian citizens. Because by our standard, it is their right to protest. You may disagree with their ideology, but you don't trample upon their rights.
Okay, quickly to WTO. I think this is a welcome development in Nigeria here. The president is happy about it. Other governors too are happy about it. What should we expect from Okonjo-Iweala? Don't forget that the Trump administration didn't support her. We have the Joe Biden's administration making sure that this thing comes true.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike. You see the World Trade Organization, Okonjo-Iweala is coming at a point where the organization needs agility. It was lacking agility. Okay. Then again, look at the former DG, Director General. He left that office almost a year before the expiration of his tenure. He tells you that there's a challenge which this woman is coming to face. But again, I do not doubt her efficiency because she has proven to be capable to handle such position in the past. Then again, looking at Trump opposition to her emergence and Joe Biden supporting her, you see that this life is about interest. That still speaks to the fact that even in American election, most black voted against Trump because Trump policy was majorly against the black. Now, I believe that the woman will be able to bring her wealth of experience and knowledge to bear to move that World Trade Organization forward, to make sure that all the world interconnect in terms of trade, to make sure that trade balance is adequately and appropriately deployed to ensure that all the world have peace of mind when it comes to trade relations.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Very brilliant one from you. Really appreciate you for coming on board. Sunday, how are you doing?
Fine, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Right.
You're welcome.
Home now, they should go back to their zoo called Northern people. You don't understand? In my life, self, I never have anything that will make me to associate with them again. Because no wonder that during that time, people never happy to be together with the Northern people because I don't know how that's how they are. Because we were hearing, there was a time we were hearing outside Fulani. You know that in this country, the Fulani cannot come out openly to call themselves Fulani. They call themselves outside Fulani, but they are succeeding in bringing out the outside in the north. And now they are recolor. They bring their recolor out, who they really are. You understand? Like what happened in Ibadan yesterday, the northern governor, after they use their mouth, Bauchi governor use the mouth to chop shit, talk rubbish, that S-men have right to carry arms. And now they are now coming to come and negotiate. What are they negotiating? They have already authorized those people to carry arms. That's why when Mr. Matthew, only the word that I say Mr. Matthew said get me to Riyadh is because of he say the Yoruba are waiting for federal government to sign gun for Amataku to carry arms. Is it the Yoruba governor that signed gun for herdsmen? There has gone. Did you know when they carry AK-47? They don't tell us, but the northern governor signed it for them in secret, and now they are openly supporting it. That's to show that they are aware of it. So if everybody that want to defend your land, okay, you have to carry arms. You understand? Because if you see the action of those northern governors, that's to show that they are not in support of what the herdsmen are doing. Because I know only what they take joy in is to kill and to share blood. That's only what the northern people know. They don't know anything again. You understand? If not, those people who have conquered those people, they have never conquered. It started from Benue, Plateau, the same people in the same north, the same corner, they call themselves brother. But you see how they will massacre people in Kaduna. The same herdsmen. The same herdsmen will go to Plateau State, massacre people. The same herdsmen will go to Benue and massacre people. The governor are there. They cannot say, come. They know those people. The military leader will come and say, we are the one responsible. They don't hide it. And they know the military leader. The president cannot come and say, this thing you are doing, you are damaging the image of this country and the people. But they don't talk because they are in support. It's a hard. Nigeria have different tribes. Even in state you find yourself, you see different tribes. But it's as if the president is always supporting a particular tribe, which is because when you see when something happen in the east, the president will react. The presidency will react. But when the herdsmen kill people, the president will form a deaf ear. The presidency, all of them, both Laila Mohammed will form a dumb ear as if they are not hearing. But they hear.
But it seems the presidency is currently trying to kill herdsmen. But the question the Arewa Consultative Forum is asking now is where are they being tried? Show us where they are.
They have not tried in anywhere. Many of them know. They know that those people they cannot be arrested. Is it not here that when something happened in Benue State, the president is in Abuja, say he give order to IG of police to relocate to Benue State. Later the president had to come out and say he never know that the IG went to that place. Me say the word of the president never add value to the IG of police. Is it today that they want to, I see where soldiers, police are doing press up, I be waiting that they do. The press up where they will carry, they cannot go and fight the herdsmen. Have you heard it? Is to use it to come and embarrass me and you on the road, to use it to embarrass the people protesting for justice. Because when you see what happened in Lekki Token, they use it after they do press up finish, is to come and embarrass me and you walking on the road. Is that how they continue? The country will continue. Is that how they will be doing as if we are in a no wonder now they can't call the zoo because we don't have control. We don't have people, a security agencies supposed to be the savior of me and you. They are not God though, but when they are around, we supposed to have peace. But a policeman or army will be around, will be afraid. We'll be afraid they may kill us because police may carry gun and kill you. He will tell you that I will kill you, nothing will happen. And nothing will happen. The matter will close. You understand? So is that a country that we are proud of that we have a country? We are proud. I'm never proud of having contacts in Nigeria.
So why is it that when Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, speaks this time around, people don't really believe in? We have Occupy Lekki Gate protest that happened last weekend. Sanwo-Olu has ordered investigation into alleged assaults on protesters, but we still find some Lagosians disbelieving the government, because saying that it's playing on the intelligence of Lagosians. Because
he have done it before. Is he not the one that when the so-called presidency, the people in Abuja, say that they want to form a judicial panel? Him as a government, are they not the one that equipped the police to go to Lekki Gate? You equip police that anybody that protests, they tell us that they will not tolerate any sign of protest. You understand? And now they want to deviate so that they will not be sanctioned by human rights abuse. Because that is what human rights abuse. They have abused the right of citizens, or especially the youth. It's as if the youth don't have value in the nation again. If you are not a politician, you are on your own. That is what those so-called leaders are doing. And the governor is what? Even though you hear a small boy say, you understand? Because he have damaged his image. People, I know that when they bring him, many Lagosians, they love him. They don't know that he himself who was more than Ambode where they complain. Ambode is the best governor. If Ambode is in power, this thing will not happen because he have knowledge. And Ambode won Lagosian about the same governor they have now. Nothing he will talk that will have any value again because people will not be listening to him. what did we tell people? Even during NSAS protest, he confused people, tell them that they should calm down. After night, he went to put coffee, and after the coffee, he had to send soldiers to go and kill people. The same governor that is confusing people. And now, if you are the one that kind of person talk, you listen to him again, because he talk, every talk, he will not do anything. He's just lying. He want to cover up. And what I see, the commissioner of police of Lagos State, that's this man, he was saying that they will censure those people because they want to divide themselves, so that as if they are not aware, but they are aware. You understand? They are aware of it.
All right, Sunday, thank you so much for your contribution.
Brother, welcome.
Can someone please tell this woman to turn down the volume of that speaker? It's too loud. All right, let's continue. Okay, the man has warned you people, right? He has warned people not to.
He has one
to complain again.
There's one Sunday.
Okay, let's go. Let's continue. All right, David, you're welcome on board.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Mike Adekule.
Good morning.
And it's a beautiful Tuesday morning.
All right. Let's quickly move down to Lekki Togate, the Occupy Lekki protest that took place in that axis. Sanwo-Olu ordering investigation into alleged assault will be maltreated in Nigeria. Apart from the Lekki Togate demonstration, it has happened. It happened during the Revolution Now protest. It happened during the increase in prices of commodities in Nigeria. Now, should we see this continue to happen in Nigeria? And what do you think the governor of Lagos State mean? You know, what do you think it really meant by telling the judiciary to investigate what happened in Lekki Togate? I think, based on what people said, the government, the police, or the police commissioner of Lagos State acted based on the order of the governor. Now, your take on it?
Thank you, Mr. Mike Adekule. Just like what I've always said here in this program countless times. I said you cannot be a judge in your own case. The governor at the speaking now, it's a kangaroo investigation. You just want to divert people's attention away from the current trending. The governor, if truly the governor is being sincere, he knows the set of police that were on ground that day. And then the commissioner of police ought to have brought them to book. There's no need of investigation. It was so obvious. The evidence was there. Why don't you call the commissioner of police? This and this. These people who are the men on ground. Let everyone. I have the video. Every Nigerians, the video went viral. So I don't think there should be any investigation on this. The investigation is just kangaroo. It will be washed into the carpet. It just wants because of the noise. That is why he just came up with this with the so-called investigation. And I know the investigation would not yield any meaningful result. Just like what NSAS protesters that lost their livelihood in NSAS has not been compensated up till now. So tell me, how do you think this investigation will yield any meaningful result if those ones have not been compensated up till now? So, Mr. Governor, you should not come and just start seeking for what mercy. We know that nothing will be done. There will be no investigation. As I'm speaking to you now, the governor have signed an executive order to make sure that the Lekki Togate of their selfish interest because of their greed. Now, is the Lekki Togate more important to you than the lives that were lost? Is the Lekki Togate that important to you that the human rights our constitutional rights that were being violated, and the inhuman treatment that were given to protesters on Saturday? The governor knows who sent them there. Would you tell me someone is not aware of it? Would you tell me the Black Maria that conveyed those protesters down to Adeniji, Adele police station, was the Lagos State government? So, sir, what is he saying? So I think Sanwo-Olu should not exclude himself out of it. He is also part of them.
He knows about it.
He knows about it because one, the Black Maria
It's also obvious because it was what Lagos State government, and then the police that came also came from where Obalende, so he knows the DPO there. So we need to stop all this paparazzi saying that see he want set up a panel. Of what panel? Of what good would the panel yield? The one panel you've set up doing the answers of what good has it yielded? Nothing. So they should stop all this kangaroo panel.
And now let's move down to Okonjo Iweala's victory as the WTO Director General. At last, it's a victory for the woman.
At last it's a victory to the man, and then it's a victory to every Nigerian for her to have attained this position. Kudos to her, and then I want to celebrate her because she is a woman of she's a woman that has this determination, zeal to always become the kind of person she has, and then God has helped her to realize her dream. In as much as that, the then president of America, Donald Trump, was not in support of her, did not support her because Trump has always been a racist from set, and then God paved way for her now, and then this is now a lesson for our president Buhari. This woman should have been part of the cabinet because you said the woman happens to be corrupt, the woman is that, the woman is it. Now it is so obvious. The woman is what she compared when she was the what coordinating minister of what economy, and now compared to now, it is so obvious. Someone that knows she's a technocrat because of Buhari does not feel Buhari is not always pleased working with people who are not from his tribe. As long as you are not from his what kinsmen, he will not give you a very sensitive position to hold. If you think because you don't hear Hausa, and then again you might betray him.
Now, of what benefit will this be to Nigeria? What would Nigeria be deriving from there?
Of what benefit? Mr. Mike Adekule, I don't want it to yield any benefit to her as long as President Buhari is still in charge, because I know every money that comes will spill nothing. Even every money that comes from the World Trade Zone will not be what utilized, except if she wants to follow up on the project, except if she wants to appoint people that will make sure that when it comes to implementation, every money that comes from this body is being fully utilized, and then again it will add meaning to the life of every Nigerians. Because if you say Buhari wants to go and loan money from her, and then again Buhari use Nigeria as collateral, it will not yield any meaningful results.
All right, thank you so much.
It has always been like that.
All right, I really appreciate you for coming on board. We have some messages rolling coming up here. We have messages popping up, and was Nnamdi Igwe BK Maduka saying yes, smash the like button for the host. It's not easy. Thank you so much, Nnamdi. We have Dapo Boy. Sorry, Nigeria can't be saved anymore. It's too late. Thank you so much, Fatima Ahmed. She said she loves the outfit of the host. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Let's quickly go to what we have here. Mr. James, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Mike.
All right, quickly to the northern issue. Of course, you are aware of what transpired between the Hausa and the Yoruba in that region, and we have the Hausas leaving that axis, running away, scamping for safety. Now, the governors of the region, the northern region, have come
to make a dialogue with them.
Yeah, to make a dialogue as a Nigerian.
Mr. Mike, in this issue, in this aspect, I don't think there's need for any dialogue, because these people have caused a lot of havoc in Nigeria. They are carrying AK-47, moving about, killing people, raping people's wives, butchering people's children. You could imagine what they are doing in people's family. How can you enter somebody's house and butcher people there, and you don't feel any remorse about it? And the governors are there. You could see what that governor of you see Bauchi or they're about.
Okay.
There's what he made. He said that
Ahmed, right?
yes, that the herdsmen that they have right to carry AK-47 to defend themselves. Then who issued them that gun in the first instance? That is the question I'm asking the federal government and the state governors. Who gave them the order? Is it government approved, or is it in order for someone to carry ammunition or gun and arms to go about the business that they are doing? Is it for the government? Is government benefiting from it, or the masses? This is a private business, and they are using to cause me havoc in Nigeria. I don't think there's any reason for governors or the Western governors to accept their demands, because these people, what they are doing is their private business. You can't use their personal something to spoil somebody's business. It's not good. So the governors, the Western governors, they should take their stance, just like the way everyone should defend himself, because Nigeria has got to the stage as an individual, we have to defend our land. We have to defend their own self.
How would you defend yourself? Like
you can now.
Like I don't know how to carry cutlass, let alone carry a gun.
Now, because the outside side, they have made it in a way that they issue a gun for their people. Now, let our own people, because everybody has the right. As a governor, you are the chief security of the state. Now the governor should do something. They should not be waiting for the presidency, because a presidency is a group. It's not a president, because the president is deaf in his ear. He's not doing anything. Now all this that happening, he has never come out to life. He has done something, because this country has gone to the state. Everybody is carrying law into his hand. How can a civilian carrying gun and be killing people, and the president is not saying anything? It's unfair. Now the governors in the west and in the south and in the east, they should rise up. I thank God for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what he did in the east. Now they don't have the right to go there and terrorize our land again, because this man has secured our land. And now the governors should not wait from the federal. They should act immediately. You know why? It's as if they are keeping adamant, because it has not happened to their own family. By the time it happened, I pray that one day God will close their eye and it will happen to them, so that they will know the pains the masses, the people that feel it are feeling. So there's no need of negotiating with the killers. There's a law in the land. When you kill, you should be brought to law, and you'll be penalized. Now these people are killing and they are going free, and their governors they even have the boldness to come out and say that they have the right to carry a gun to defend themselves. It's unfair. It's something I say, in this country, are they mad, or our leaders are they human beings? It's like they are animals, because they only feel about themselves. They don't feel the masses. Now come to the protest.
Okay.
Now you could see what happened. The governor of Lagos State, I was listening to news a day before this happened. They were saying that they are going to crush people that come out for protest, and this is what they end up doing. The only way a masses can express their grievances, or they will express themselves, is through protest. Because there's no way they can go to Abuja and let their complaint. In an advanced country, in the Europe or the Western world, what they did, anything you want to do, is through protest. You come out with a black ass and you express your mind. That's the only way government can listen to you. But in Nigeria, what they are doing is the opposite of it. You could see people come out because you see what's happening in the EndSARS. A student from nowhere just came out and started shooting people. And they want to set a part of inquiry and set up. Now, they give an order that they should go and open a toll gate back. Why? What happened there has not been ratified. And those people say no. Life has been wasted. And there's no way you can recover a life you waste back, because it's only God that created life. Human being cannot create a life. And these people has wasted life, and those people, they are not animals, they are not goats. They are human beings as they were. And now they give an order that should go and open it. And the masses, the youth say no. this thing cannot be happen. They should do it in a process, in accordingly, in a due process. And who sent the police there? Because I know the commissioner of police in Lagos State cannot just wake up overnight and send troops to go and start arresting people. You could see what happened in those people's life. They were stripped naked. How can you do a human being like that? They are unarmed. They didn't carry any arms. They were just there to express themselves. That what the government are doing is not good for them, because the government are not thinking of them. They were killing them, and the next thing they should do is to go and be arresting them. This government should be sanctioned. Right. I believe the world should sanction them.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate you for coming. And the last person we'll be talking to, Mr. Chigozie. Before we go, let's quickly talk to Chigozie. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Mike, and everyone, my esteemed viewers.
How are you doing?
Fine. Trust you had a wonderful weekend.
Yeah. And you?
Of course, it was so fantastic.
Produce evidence of criminal herdsmen. That's what these groups have said. NEF, PANDEF, NBE, Afenifere, ACF to federal government. Produce evidence of criminal herdsmen's trial. Of course, the presidency has said that the prosecution of herdsmen, that's killer herdsmen, are going right now, currently going on. But where is the evidence? That's the question they are asking.
Okay, they are busy asking the government of General Muhammadu Buhari to provide. It's a big time joke. I think these people has no other thing, better things to engage in. How could you be calling on a man who has given relinquished all the power within his disposal to ensure that the Fulani race conquer the nook and crannies of Nigeria? You are asking him to provide evidence. I mean, it sounds very stupid with due respect. How could you? Why you see your people, like you see your people being killed in their scores. You see, look at what is happening in Ibadan. We are still asking the federal government to produce evidence of what? You see, that sounds very silly. And when I talk, some people will say, we'll just be making noise, that I'm rude. You're asking a government that is bent as annihilating your own people, killing them, dislodging them, under this disguise of herdsmen and all that. These are trained militias, Boko Haram, jihadists, movements. And if you have not come to your senses to understand that these people are after you, and you still have the time to ask the government of Fulani extraction to produce evidence of indicting his own people, that sounds very senseless. I think what they should do is to go back and talk to their own people, to stand up and brace up for the occasion. You see, Nigeria is a monumental disaster. You see, until you get to understand this, you are just wasting time, Mr. Mike. How many people were lost, 4 days ago, in Ibadan? Look at the recurrence of these killings. People were killed, their houses were burnt and overtaken by the Fulanis. It becomes their new settlers. Look, if the Yoruba they should go and sleep. But one thing is important, is inevitable. If they go to sleep, asking the government to provide evidence, see, one thing is inevitable, they are bound to lose their ancestral homes to these Fulanis. And for everyone that believes in one Nigeria, for me, I'm signing their condolence register. I hope you are not part of them. In as much as you believe in Nigeria, you are automatically, handed over. They defy the sitting governor. And look at what is happening on those states. You see, they are matching their words with actions. Yeah? How could you carry, pump action or cock and shoot, and you're facing somebody 45 with AK-47, 48? That could be a big time joke, man. What are Amateku, what are OPCs doing? And seeing their land being ceded to a stranger, a total stranger. You see, people who came from the Sahel, coming to invade, to destroy, and you're asking the present government to provide evidence of what? Are there not evidence abound to attest to the level of atrocity these people have been committing since the inception of this government of Buhari? They have been energized, sponsored, giving money. Look at what is happening. And you think it's a joke? And I want to ask at this time, what is over 200 armor tanks and whatever of 2,000 soldiers doing in my own state, Igbo state? Who are they after? Or have they declared another war against the Igbos? If they have declared another war, they should, of course, come out openly to tell us that this is another civil war. Then we will go for it. Look at, you left the whole Sambisa forest, other regions that are volatile, and you're telling me the Nigerian soldiers has no armories to combat and defeat this large Boko Haram. Where did those armor tanks come from? Over 200 plus? And you're flying war jets within the premises of my own people? In fact, you are in a big time joke. Should anything happen, you will, when you see war, you will ever regret having been tempted to declare war against these people. So this is the Nigeria we are talking. People are going about killing people, marrying people, taking over their homes. Mr. Mike, you said you hail from Ibadan or your state. Are you happy with the latest development? I told you that these people will go round. The killing will go round. Now it was just within the northerners. They have discovered now there is that potential tendency to take over the southwest. Look at what the man said, the Fulani. They knew that they have infiltrated and taken over the advantageous regions, strongholds of the southwest, only waiting for the right time to unleash mayhem. It's not unfortunate that my own people, the Yorubas, are going to sleep when it matters most, when they have to defend the integrity, the heroes past, the nobles of the heroes past, who fought to regain their freedom, who fought to regain their ancestral home. And these people are ready. They're busy eating awambe, eating meat and celebration. This is not time for awambe. It's not time. It is time for, you see, this is what happened during the time of the Israelites and the Pharaoh, Egypt. Of course, with all their armories they displayed against the Israelites, only they ended up in the Red Sea. So if Nigerians are beating the drum of war, they should know that the art of war does not suggest it is not in the strength of the armories you have, but it's in the strength of the Chukwu Okike Abiama, who is standing with the people of Biafra, who is standing with the oppressed. The Lord will fight for us, and we are ready to stand in the gap, to breach whatever gap, and to confront the enemy, our common enemies. So the Yoruba race and the people should do likewise. They should be sensitized that it is no longer time to delay. Otherwise, they will not have any story to tell to the coming generation. Why they must fail at this time.
Thank you so much, Chigozie. Very good one from you. Brilliant one from Chigozie. I really appreciate you for coming on board. And on this note, we say goodbye to you. On today's edition of this program, join us next time on the same platform. Michael Adekule still remains my name. Behind the camera is Femi Davis and Michael Ojo. We really appreciate you guys. You can subscribe to our sister channel 50 Plus. You can also subscribe to Flip TV. You can join me on Facebook, Michael Temitayo Adekule, Michael Michael Temitayo Adekule. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much, viewers. We really appreciate you.